So we're ready to track our diet. And I did create a video and it's in your module about how to track your diet correctly. So please watch that video before you start entering foods. But once you are ready, I do recommend that you use the app on your mobile device so you can just enter as you go. The instructions require 3 days, so please follow the instructions on the days that you should be tracking. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you've recorded all your food and amounts and beverages. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that students do not include water intake, and that is required. So you'll notice that water is an option here. And then I also recommend if there's for some reason you eat a meal that is not as traditional. So, for example, let's say you have cereal, but you don't like to add milk to it. I would like to see a note added because my first reaction would be as I review these is, okay, where's the milk? You had cereal, did you forget it or do you just not drink it? So to avoid a lot of back and forth, because we are going to make sure these are accurate food diaries, so you're going to get, if I think there's a mistake in amounts or portions, or it doesn't look right, or the food was incorrectly, we're going to have a lot of back and forth. So this may be graded and regraded multiple times. Okay, so let's just go with how to add food. So you go to diary and you're going to select the date. So I'm just going to use today as an example. You'll notice the date on the calendar is highlighted so you can see in the past as well where days have food intake. So the instructions require you to track 2 days, 2 weekdays, and 1 weekend, not any holidays or sick days. So we want it to be normal intake for you. Okay, so I'm going to add a food. Lots of food in this database, so you should be able to find it. Once you start entering the same food multiple times, it kind of gets up on this favorites list. So the search doesn't, it doesn't require you to search as much. So for example, I had some Greek yogurt. So I'm going to add the Greek yogurt. I do believe that the gold edition allows you to select time of day. We don't necessarily need that, but you can pick your diary group. So you can say for breakfast, you had, and notice the default settings, 1 cup. I actually had less than that. I only had 6 ounces. So you could change the units. So I'm going to put in 6 ounces and then I add it to the diary. If you are using the mobile device, it will take up some QR code or scan codes, but you may need a upgraded version for that, so don't worry about it. Just find the food or something similar to what you had. Doesn't have to be exact brand. Okay, so another food I had, let's just say I had strawberries with my yogurt, which I did. I shouldn't say that. Raw strawberries. Notice the options that come up. I only had 3, and I would agree that they were medium, and I'm going to add it to breakfast. And then I would continue on food by food. So the bad thing is that I can't see what you're doing on the back end because you can add recipes, but I'd prefer if you did not do that. Just continue adding foods. Notice the water. So you can do it for the entire day. So just track what you had. So normally I have about 6 glasses of, let's say it's about 8 ounces. So I'm just going to say I had tap water and I'm going to say 48 ounces. I'll just uncategorize it. Fluid ounces. Anytime you're dealing with fluid, let's make sure. Add to diary. and 48 fluid ounces. Perfect. Okay, so you can just start to build this. If you have to add a note, you could say, I do not have milk with my cereal. And then I see that note, which is very nice of you, and I say, oh, okay, I don't have to do anything or question your intake. Let's say you have a pancake and you don't put syrup. I'm going to ask that. Where are the condiments? If you had tacos, but you don't have any salsa on it, I would ask, did you forget to add the condiments or did you just not have that? So the notes will definitely help the grading process go a little faster. Okay, so once you do your first day, then you can enter your second day, and then you can do your third day. Now, the trick with this is you need to upload the 3 days to Canvas. So because they're all separate, basically reports, you would have to, again, kind of like we did with the profile, is print it and save it as a PDF. And then I'll be able to see all of this. And, I really do look to see portion sizes. If there's not a lot of food, I would say, what's going on? Why are we less than 1,000 calories for the day? Can you give me a note and explain why it's a low intake? Were you busy that day? Did you work? What was it that caused you to miss meals? Or is this typical for you? Because I only want typical days. But if a normal work day is like that for you, then it's typical. So notes will help again. Okay, so once you do that, you'll start to notice the report starts to populate how many calories, how many grams of protein. Down here, it'll show you fiber, total carbohydrates, omega 3s and 6s, all the vitamins and minerals, amino acids. So all the nutrients start to populate into this report, and it's called your food diary. So you should save it. Remember, you're saving as a PDF. You should save it as the date. And once you save day one, then you're going to go back and save day two, and then you'll go back and save day three. Now, once you're in the assignment in Canvas, you have to submit all individual days. So don't add to the comment section. Just make sure you're reading the instructions. I do have it there. And I also give links to the Canvas student guide, which is really helpful. So here, this link takes you here, and it shows you how to upload files to assignments. But for us, because we have 3 days, you'll have to upload multiple files. So if I scroll down, it shows you how to add another file. And what you'll do is upload, and then you did the first one as an upload, and then you add another one. So then day two, you would add another file, and then day three, add the third file. And then you submit the assignment. Okay, so that is how you do your food diaries, and it would be really helpful to make sure we get this right. So more information, more details will make this a lot easier for me to grade, but also a lot easier for you. Now, the entire semester, we're working on the same 3 days. So once we finalize this and I say, you know what, everything looks really good, no more tracking. You don't track anymore. We're done. So when we work on the next project assignment, we're using these 3 days. When we work on the fifth assignment, we're using the same 3 days. So I don't want you to start tracking new days that I never looked at, that I never approved, that I didn't spend time reviewing and grading and you editing and all of our back and forth is because we're trying to make this as accurate as possible of what your intake is. It's 3 days and it's generally a good average of what you consume on a daily basis. Okay? Same 3 days. We're working on it to make them perfect so that they will be used for the rest of the semester. we have more assignments to do related to the project. Okay, thank you.